Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome, everyone.
Just you, though.
Yeah, but nope, there's 15 other people in the room right now.
Oh, fair enough. Hey, guys.
Hey, I have a couple things to say before we get into the film today. To the cinema.
Hit me.
First off, and I feel personally responsible for this, Borderlands came out.
Oh, God.
And it was...
how you say it?
How are we going to put it?
What's the least mean way to say this?
Can we just say that the film we're talking about today has many people hate this movie, and some people have called it one of the worst films ever made.
That's right.
Borderlands has now taken one of the crowns of one of the worst kind of commercial blockbusters ever made.
Wow.
It was like, it's so poorly received. Even I feel a little bad for how much
Do you know what the Rotten Tomatoes score is for Borderlands?
Last time I checked, it was 3%.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which is a little wild. That makes me feel bad to talk about.
Yikes.
You know?
Okay,
that
reasonable
film has
9% now.
That film has Cate Blanchett in it.
Dude.
You know.
Look, that film has Kevin Hart in it. So
yeah, he balances out the equation, I think.
It'll balance it out.
So, I mean, all the best to Eli Roth. I'm sorry that happened.
But he peaked at Hostel and he should have stopped.
He peaked at Hostel, yeah, as we've established. One other thing. So today we're doing an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah. Hey, say it. Throw some respect.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Hell yeah.
Now I don't consider myself a Shyamalite.
Yeah.
Because I like some of his movies, but I'm not like crazy about him. I know, but there's people have a wider appreciation of him. Mm-hmm. He's rebounded since this film. Mm-hmm. In later years, and he recently put out a movie. We're not doing it because of this, but he put out a movie called Trap.
That's right.
Mixed reception on that one too, but I've also heard lots of people have really liked it. Lots of people have really hated it. It's the Shyamalan experience. I just want to say I have to apologize to you for something because, and I've said this to two people. I was sure that Trap was filmed here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. No, it's filmed in Toronto.
Oh my God, it looked like Rogers Stadium outside.
Yeah, I thought that.
Wow.
I thought that Trap was filmed in the shittiest, ugliest part of Vancouver. It turns out it was filmed in the nicest part of Toronto.
Okay.
So
it looks pretty shit anyway. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Torontonians.
Sorry, Torontonians. There's a perception of BCers, especially Vancouverites, that we are snobby because... we don't get 100 feet of snow every winter.
Because we're beautiful?
Because we live in the great outdoors
and
things
so
like
beautiful.
that. And I don't think I'm helping that perception. So I just want to say to the people of Toronto, I apologize.
And you are right.
I love you. You guys, please move here. We need kitchen staff and bartenders.
Wow, dude. That's two jobs that you're taking away from me.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sorry, Toronto.
Sorry, Toronto.
That was mean. You're all right. Trap came out. Mixed reception. Josh Hartnett back on the big screen. All of M. Night Shyamalan's children. Yeah. This film, After Earth, stars a prominent child.
You have a famous child.
One of the many children of the world.
TM.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith.
I can talk more about this if you want, because I have something I want to say about him.
Definitely.
Right off the bat.
Hit me with it.
We're talking about After Earth.
Yeah.
A film starring Will Smith from a story by Will Smith. Directed by M. Night Shyamalan, written by M. Night Shyamalan, and video game writer Gary Whitta.
Okay, nice.
Starring Will Smith, Jaden Smith, Zoe Kravitz, someone else. Jaden Smith, the focal point of this film. And I have to say, I don't think this movie is very good. I don't think it's as bad as people say it was. The more I read about it, I feel really bad for Jaden Smith.
Yes.
And Will Smith feels really bad for what happened to Jaden Smith from this because he's not good in this movie. But also, if you're Will Smith positioning your child to be a star, it would suck for you to kind of throw him to the wolves. And everyone's like, hey, your kid sucks.
Hey, you're not Will Smith.
And no matter how nepo or weird you think Jaden Smith is, that doesn't make me feel very good about trashing this movie.
I mean, totally. He's a child actor who came and
he was a teen. He was a teenager.
In the throes of it all. And also the Smith family at the time, 2013.
Normal.
Will Smith, normal. Will Smith, beloved. No, there was no hate for the man. He's a fucking charisma.
I mean, yeah, I think
mansion.
The last few years have changed a lot. The slap is a big thing.
Totally.
Jaden Smith also, since this movie, he's had public eye things that have been like, this kid's just kind of a weirdo. Then again, you would be a weirdo too if you grew up with the
100%
biggest star on earth.
And he carved out like a thing for himself in music, and it's better than...
frankly, Jada Pinkett as her parents.
Also, who is on this movie as well, like on the board.
Producer,
assumedly, and her brother, Mr. Pinkett, is also a producer, and so the Smiths and Pinketts are all over this joint.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time when this movie came out, they weren't hated or anything.
Will Smith was still like one of the biggest, if not the biggest star in the world, I would guess.
And then the duo was like so well received in Pursuit of Happiness in 2006,
which is not a very good. I don't know if that's a great movie. I really don't. I would have to revisit it.
But it's like the definition of father-son relationship.
Yeah,
it's feel good. It's like it's got all the bearings of a tearjerker.
Yeah.
And it just works because the kid is a phenomenal actor as a kid.
He's just a kid, yeah.
He's just such a natural kid. He's also fucking great in Karate Kid. I don't know if you've seen the Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan version.
No.
He is so good. That you watch a kid like that grow up and you're like, damn, he's going to grow up.
Look at him kick.
That is Will Smith's kid.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you don't want to just be Will Smith's son. You want to be
you want to be distinctive, yeah.
Which is what I think he's trying to do in After Earth. And it doesn't work because the script does not exist. There's not much good writing for the guy.
Yeah, my biggest criticism of this film, like, okay, here's where I disagree with lots of critics about how bad this movie is.
Yeah.
Again, I want to be clear. I don't like this. I don't think this movie is good. I don't like hate it. I'm not like, oh, this is like actively bad.
Yeah.
First of all, Shyamalan makes things very sincerely. And as like, as I've kind of I was listening to Blank Check. They were doing an episode on Trap, and they brought up the point that lots of Shyamalan's movies are concerned with family, and also kids end up being big stars of a lot of Shyamalan movies. The Visit, Old. There's always like a kid who is a prominent role in the thing. Sixth Sense being a great example of it.
Yeah.
The Village, Signs, all have young children, young to mid kind of teens children, right? Mm-hmm. This movie is being no exception. But Shyamalan, he comes at it very sincerely, and I respect that because like I can see what he's going for. The weird thing about this movie, and I think the ultimate criticism, is like, why is it so stripped down and basic, and the plot is just so linear and straightforward, and none of the actual sci-fi or lore of it is really explored or explicated in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Even the creatures who smell fear and the concept of ghosting, not the Tinder thing, like it's not really talked about in a way where with like sci-fi normally is.
No, it's just like exposition from the get-go.
But it doesn't even exposit deeply. It's
like 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. Here's everything that you're going to expect in the rest of this 90 minutes, and then boom.
Yeah.
But ask me how I feel about this movie.
Well, much like Morbius, we normally wouldn't talk about a movie that's been this poorly received. We just wouldn't.
Yeah.
But we have a fan.
We do have
in our ranks.
I fucking love After Earth.
You are a big fan of this movie. I
fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
I don't find anything wrong with it. This could have been made by a child and I would love it just as much. I would believe it more.
Yeah. So you do see some things wrong with it.
I would believe it more if you were like, oh yeah, some guy made it. Yeah. But then I think the reason it derided even more to the point of it getting 12% on Rotten Tomatoes is that there's 3 to 4 ginormous names on the bill.
Yeah.
And the performances are kind of there, but there's no glue kind of keeping the audience to their seat.
Well, also like the expectations are so high with if it was someone who if it wasn't Shyamalan, if it wasn't Smith, if it wasn't J. Smith, I think this movie would be like a 30-40% range on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
The expectation is absurd.
Exactly.
And also like Shyamalan is stepping out of boundary from what he normally does. And it's hard to be like, because Shyamalan is an undeniably talented filmmaker.
Yeah.
But it's hard to be like, well, Shyamalan's sci-fi venture should be good and interesting and thrilling. And this one is just very flat.
But I wonder if it was like, oh, people were expecting fucking Will Smith, Mr. Charisma himself, Jaden Smith, cool, kooky kid who's a rebel. They are both playing completely opposite characters of what they've ever done in their life.
They're playing what I imagine the planned birth people from Krypton are like. Like they're playing this very just stripped down. They have a weird accent.
Yes.
And they're doing this no very emotion. Emotionless kind of, and it's so weird. And the other thing too is that another huge problem with this film, and I understand why Will Smith did it.
Yeah.
But relegating Will Smith to a chair is not gonna really sell tickets for your film.
Totally right. And yet it works for me because you don't really like Will Smith's character at all from the get-go. He's just this kind of bad dad, angry guy who doesn't even express rage. He's just kind of stone-faced.
Well, he expresses it when he signs his name Cypher Rage, babe.
Sorry, you're right. My name is Cypher, C-Y. It's just such a different side to both of them.
Yeah.
And it gives you an opportunity to take a step back and be like, oh damn. Okay, so I'm just going to pretend you're just some guy. And so my attention entirely is on Jaden Smith. And the reason why, of course, because of the story, on this planet, you will live longer if you show no emotion, show no fear, you show no kind of...
What planet is that, babe?
Wherever all the Ursa aliens are.
Oh, I thought you meant Earth.
No. Whatever fucking zoomy planet they're on.
Nova Prime.
Nova Prime.
Yeah.
That's right. God. Yeah.
I remember all the lore because there's only 3 bits of it.
Christ. Yeah, that's true.
There's a big monsters that smell your fear.
Yep.
Nova Prime ghosting. That's all you need to know.
That's it. That's all you need to know. Which is, it's bad because then the only time, anytime you see joy in this film is through a dead sister or, a mother who's just like, hey, talk to your son normal. Doesn't matter. He's a serious dad with a son who is very afraid of an emotion that is not acceptable on this planet. So they go ham with that shit, with this stone face. Common concept. We see it in fucking Dune. The, fear is the mind killer. We see it in even other films. I'm sure there's other films.
Can we talk about this genre though?
Yeah.
For a second?
Yes.
Because one of the things I will give this movie credit for, this genre is really hard to do and have audiences actually like you. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by this genre is I mean the specific kind of space travel-y and or post-apocalyptic, the world is dangerous film.
Yeah.
Can we talk about a couple?
love that. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to name a few since the year 2000.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes, the remake by Tim Burton. Mm-hmm. Complete failure. Just totally tanks.
Yes.
Right? Sunshine, which is more in the vein of Interstellar, has become a bit of a cult classic. Danny Boyle film, but not. I fucking
love Sunshine. Yeah,
great movie, but I wouldn't argue is successful. And also, the latter third of that film, most people are like, I mean, this is not great. It's a tough hang at the end. Right?
I think it's also an interesting thing remembering that Chris Evans, Captain America, is in this film.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't in that movie? Everyone is in it. The guy from Last Samurai, again, whose name I forget. Yeah, not Tom Cruise.
Not Tom Cruise. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
Avatar, huge success. We all know Avatar.
Yeah.
Star Trek, trilogy of movies based on a former property. Mm-hmm. Star Trek 1, I would argue, is successful. The other 2, I think, are not very good.
Yeah.
Right? Into Darkness and the one with fucking Sherlock in it. Not good movies. Mm-hmm. John Carter from Mars, an enormous bomb.
Okay, yeah.
That, a bomb so big it nearly destroyed Disney.
Which, my God. Look, I've never seen this film.
Me neither, and we're definitely going to cover it.
But yeah,
yeah.
I'm very pumped to now find out about it.
That was a movie that they made, I think, kind of in this vein of Avatar is successful. Let's make the big sci-fi movie with the hero, and let's hire one of the least charismatic actors to play them in Taylor Kitsch, much like Avatar is. Like, Avatar can have success despite Sam Worthington being in it, even though he's not, like, Sam Worthington's fine and Taylor Kitsch is fine, but they're not like Will Smith, for example.
Yeah, they got like a bunch of CW actors and it would have been the same effect. Yeah.
Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
We like those movies. Mm-hmm. Not Prometheus successful, Covenant less so, certainly, but not, I wouldn't say like runaway bombastic hits.
Prometheus gang.
Interstellar, we talked about.
Yeah.
It's same with Sunshine. Kind of, it's tertiarily in this genre, but it's probably the most prestige version of it.
Yeah.
Ender's Game, huge failure.
Yeah,
like a movie that came out based on a beloved book by a guy who everyone thinks and now universally agrees is a bit of a difficult man.
Oh my god!
And everyone's waiting for it. It had Harrison Ford in it. It came out much like this movie, and everyone was like, "Please, no, never again." Nope, that's it. Thank you. Oblivion, starring Tom Cruise.
That was good. Not well received.
Decent movie. Yeah. Also completely forgotten to the sands of time.
You may say it's lost in
Oblivion. Space?
It's lost in Oblivion.
Yeah, right. the space of Oblivion.
The joke.
Who, you know what's, here's the thing about that movie. It's got Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah.
Who is the other person?
It's lady.
Right. It's Andrea Riseborough, right? I think
the
I'm wrong
computer
about
lady.
That.
Right.
I don't know, but I think,
yeah, it is.
I have no idea.
Jesus, yeah.
Good movie. Okay movie. I saw that in theaters and it was okay. The critically derided Passengers, which is about
fucking dog shit. Kill that movie, dude. That you give that fucking 50% audience. Come on now.
But it's also kind of like that movie is kind of
it's popcorn.
Yeah, but it's like a lost in space-y thriller, a lot like this one.
Yeah,
where it turns out Chris Pratt
gets to play himself.
I haven't seen it, but it's like it doesn't have like the weirdest, creepiest like. Yeah, whatever. We'll talk about it sometime.
Yeah.
The Maze Runner. I bring those up because they're kind of like sci-fi. There's mazes. This movie also involves running.
Okay.
Teenagers in suits. Like I've actually seen one of the Maze Runner movies. They're not bad, but also like they managed to make 3 of them despite everyone being like, all right.
Yeah.
The Death Cure. What is it? I don't know. Probably Advil or something. Yeah. ladies, am I right?
The future, am I right?
Cure for death.
What?
Eating a green diet.
Yeah.
One more. No, 2 more. 65.
Oh, yeah, more recent.
Probably the most like this film.
The more recent of After Earths. Yeah.
Not a good movie.
No, that's a real Before Earth, if anything.
That movie is worse or on par with this film, I think.
Oh, it's worse
I thought
than
it was not.
No,
great.
It was not
yeah.
good. There's no, there's no emotion.
In 65?
Yeah.
Well, he's Adam Driver.
Oh. When is he not crying?
Yeah.
Shit.
God.
Give the man a napkin.
They're just dinosaurs. Get over it.
Get over it.
And then 2 more that I haven't seen. The Rebel Moon franchise by Zack Snyder.
I'm also thinking of, maybe not fully related, but because you said Planet of the Apes, King Kong Skull Island is up there. It's good.
Not a spacey, travel-y film, though.
Not. But some of them, it feels like they take you away from what we know as planet Earth into a totally different dimension, kind of like Earth. But After Earth and King Kong works for me because they bring you back to Earth. They bring you
Planet
back
of the
to
Apes is also, they bring you back to Earth, though. Sorry to ruin the twist.
No, that's great. No, okay.
And Oblivion, too. Oblivion takes place on a future Earth. And 65 takes place on a past Earth, right?
Right.
So it's like this kind of like setting a sci-fi story on Earth, on an unrecognizable Earth, is kind of like the subset of this genre.
Yeah.
But my bigger point is that like these soft sci-fi movies that don't have a basis like back from something else, like it's no surprise to me that like Dune is successful, not just because of all the good and hard and excellent work that went into it by Villeneuve and everyone else involved in that movie, but also we saw Lynch try it and it sucked. But then again, it's also based on a beloved book.
Totally.
But when you're creating, and this After Earth's not based on anything,
but it like went on to become like a book.
Even if it is, it's like not. It's not something that's like really big in the public eye, right?
Totally.
So my point is that just like these soft sci-fis that are just pulled out of Will Smith's ass, his creative mind, or and then expanded with M. Night Shyamalan and Gary Whitta.
Yeah.
Really hard to do and make to be not even a good movie.
Yeah.
But really impossible to make a new sci-fi classic, and also just hard to make like a movie where people are like, yeah, that was good.
Would you find it more believable, more exciting in its original form, where Will Smith was like, he saw something where about, you know, a father and son get into an accident, get separated, and has to find their way back to each other?
It would be,
but in like real life, not a sci-fi situation.
Nah, I mean, I don't care. I don't think that there's anything wrong with the premise or the emotional core where it's like a father and son have to kind of finally relate to each other.
Yeah.
It just happens to be on this like sci-fi setting.
Yeah.
The issues are, again, Will Smith relegated to a chair, and there's no other characters. I think that's a huge problem. That there's no other human interaction.
But do you need it?
Yeah.
Did you really miss?
Yes.
That's why a lot of people missed it too. They're like, this is so dull that this child is not able to carry the film on his back.
Yes.
Understandably so.
Also, when you have someone like Zoe Kravitz at your disposal, like, why is she just a recording?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I found that alienating and really difficult to be like, Jaden Smith can't carry the film enough to, even if he was good, I think it wouldn't, even if he was like performing well, I think it still wouldn't be enough. You need that human interaction, you know?
I think there's a lot of ways they could have filled the long kind of solo Jaden Smith things. Some of the most exciting parts of the films is just watching him run through Earth, right? Run running right after it.
Yeah.
And then interacting with Earth as we know it, with the apes, and then the bugs, the poisonous thing. What else?
The huge bird the size of a truck.
Bird. Like, so that's it though.
Yeah.
3 things in like 2 hours. If they had jammed in like a few more cool things, nature things that Earth is known for.
Yeah.
It would have been even more exciting. It would have kept the audience in their seats, because then you don't have to rely on looking at Jaden Smith the whole time. Yeah,
and also like, but even when you get into that, I think when you break down those little moments of the sci-fi aspects of it, they often, like, to me, I'm like, these raise a lot of questions that are just not answered by the film. Like, for one, how does anything live if the planet freezes over every night?
It's selective, first of all.
Well, like, but
everything
also
has an exoskeleton now.
It's like filmed in like that beautiful Pacific Northwest-ish Northern California forest.
Thailand.
And no, it's filmed in California, and it's like, why are there monkeys here?
Cause
like, what are the monkeys doing?
Babe, it's not before Earth, it's after. They can be anywhere they want.
But why would the monkeys want to live in a cold place?
He has run quite far away from the monkey destination to where now it gets cold.
It's only a journey of 100 kilometers.
Yeah, exactly. Which is quite a bit.
No, but Will Smith says the planet freezes over every night.
It drops temperature rapidly, but then it also goes up quite rapidly.
Everyone, I have a surprise for you, actually. My co-host this whole time has been literally M. Night Shyamalan. And M. Night is here to defend their film. Yeah.
The M stands for more.
The M stands for no.
Actually,
I don't think so.
I'm actually Night Shyamalan. Yo, look. It just the reason it works, to whatever degree that it works, is because of the exciting sci-fi shit you get to see.
Yeah,
and there's a lack of it. I totally get the audience's point of being like, okay, you showed us 3 things, and now we got to listen to this kid like walk and talk and interact with the environment, which we don't get to see much of.
And also, because he has to talk to no one all the time, and he just, like, literally looks lost on screen. Like, because, like, how can you act? You're not acting to a person, right?
There's, like, a beautiful moment where they do get him, like, some liberty to where he talks to himself. If they had fucking extrapolated on that a little bit more, even that would work. When he kind of finds his stride and he's taken a hit of that oxygen, and he's like, all right, 10 miles out. He's just talking to himself as he's running, and he's like, fuck yeah, 5 clicks in, like I'm doing this. He's like mumbling these words out to himself. But it's a hit and miss.
Yeah, there's not enough of that.
There's not nearly enough.
And the thing too is like they have no real other depth of character.
No.
That like Jaden Smith's their only character is basically like Cypher Rage is LeBron James of killing monsters.
Yeah.
And his son isn't yet.
No. But also his son, who he has like passed on a ton of his baggage to and blamed for the death of his sister.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot for a kid.
Well, it's his fault.
It's his to like this fucking dad who's just like, yes, second least favorite child, I suppose. What is your name? You can come with me on this mission. Look, Will Smith has this like fucking perma frown on his face.
Yeah.
Which
he's actively trying to not be charismatic.
Carl Urban had that in Judge Dredd. Just a fucking mean mug. Just a scowl for 10,000% of the film.
Yeah, but isn't Judge Dredd a character who summarily executes criminals? Like, that's his job? Like,
yes, but would he be a good father?
I don't think
Baby
Judge Dredd fucks.
He only fucks crime. That would that's true.
He only fucks criminals, yeah.
But like they don't depend on like, oh, we need emotion for this character.
Can I draw a comparison to the other Dredd film starring Carl Urban?
Yeah.
Well, that movie has Carl Urban and Judge Dredd, essentially, if I remember correctly. I like that movie. But he's like the Terminator, and he's like, I have to go up to the top of this building.
Yeah, it's very robotic, yeah.
And they pair him with Olivia Thirlby, who is the emotional like person that he plays off of, because she's like, what about trials?
Yeah.
And Judge Dredd is like, no, crimes deserve death.
Really good point. Really good point. There's a balance there.
Yeah, and I think again I hate to say it all comes back to Jaden Smith's performance, right? Because
he is 90% of the film.
Yes, I would say so. But the whole thing about Cypher Rage is he's like, oh, I'm so good at ghosting, but also it kind of makes me an emotionless freak. And it's part of the thing is that like the son Kitai has to be. It's like, dude, it's okay to be upset about like witnessing your sister's death, and it's okay to feel emotions. You just have to control them at the right time, which is what he does in the end, right? But that's not all satisfactorily like clicked together.
I mean, like the audience is not stupid though. They know that Will Smith's character is in the wrong.
I disagree. I think the audience is very stupid, and I think most, if not all, people who watch films are idiots.
Oh my God, us especially included. Especially us.
We are at the front of the line. If there was crimes against film criticism that Judge Dredd would shoot us both in the face.
Come here, Dumb and Dumber.
And Olivia Thirlby would be like,
what about
they deserved it. They shouldn't have gone to trial. I think they're the two people who deserve it.
Damn, she sees it.
Yeah.
She sees the light.
And the city of Toronto would cheer, and they would be like, I'm freezing, but I can clap. Yeah.
Down with the low ceiling.
Yeah.
What were we saying? Oh, yeah, fuck.
After Earth. Yeah.
After Earth. It's has so much promise.
Yes.
And there was like these little moments of like joy and fucking the minimal sci-fi. It works for me. Like I know I know people wanted like fucking M. Night. My guy, you got like $200 million. Are you putting it in this like elephant udders looking spaceship?
I don't think he had $200 million to make this movie. I think it was far less.
Yeah, I think it like made back 200 and he made it with 100.
Something I don't know. It looks like even less than that, but I don't know.
But yeah. So and like, there's no cool gadgets. You don't really get a fuck around other than the fucking suit, which is my favorite with the suit, concept. Yeah. I want that to be real so bad for me in just life. Anything that changes color. Look, he's a chameleon, not as an actor, but quite literally, the idea that like your suit takes the colors of the earth from brown to fucking black, charcoal to white.
It's like the cloak in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So as we see, it's just a straight rip-off of J.R.R. Tolkien's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like they made it cool. They did it in a way where it was like, yeah, now he can run good.
I do appreciate that your enjoyment of this movie is like, I'm not making fun of you, is like inexplicable. Like you just like it.
I just love it.
You just like
you
don't have to defend it.
I went in blind. So I think that is to like my bias doesn't come from already knowing that, I'm going to watch a movie with Jaden and Will.
That has 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I had no idea.
Exactly, right?
Did not know who was in it. It was randomly on Netflix or whatever medium that I watched it on back in the day. And I was so pleasantly surprised as a child. Not a child, but like definitely 10 years younger, watching this being like, oh my God.
Can we talk about that concept for a second? Because like it's so rare for me to like, I'll like watch a movie that I don't know what the general reception of it has been.
Yeah.
But like when you watch a film that you go in with no baggage, like zero baggage.
Yeah.
And then you are like, oh, that was like pretty good. And then you find out that like, for one, like you could see the Rotten Tomatoes and be like, there's some where you're just like, oh, this has like 92% and but only 10 people have reviewed it.
Right.
And like it's like,
oh yeah,
you know, like things like that. Like there's so much entertainment out there. But I do find like, I can't think of an example, but it is like, I admire that about yourself where you're like, I was like pleasantly surprised to watch a movie like this. Like there's a lot of movies from my childhood that before the concept of Rotten Tomatoes, because I'm 900 years old, but like before I followed this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I still think of them fondly, and I'm just like, I don't know. I think this is a better movie than people gave it credit for.
100%.
We're going to do one next week, actually. That I actually kind of think, I'm like, I think this is a really pleasantly quite a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, I understand its flaws, but also when I watched it, I was like, I don't know. I like it. It's a good one. I have a lot like
if you like, and if I ever see anything that I'm mildly interested by just the cover of it or just like the 2-sentence premise, a lot of people like me would probably just watch it and then look up who did this or how much did it get.
Yeah, I usually look it up about 10 minutes into any
You look
film.
it right away. Yeah. So I don't let that like thought form in my head of someone else's opinion because ultimately it is about, like you always say, a feeling and what you leave with at the end of the movie, what feeling stays with you about the film.
Yeah.
That's what matters. A lot of films are shit. Speaking of shit films in the same genre.
A lot of movies are stupid, and everyone who watches them are also stupid.
Also garbage. Yeah. One piece of dog shit was Battlefield Earth that came around that time. Well, same concept. Sci-fi.
Scientology.
Fucking Scientology. Oh my God, can we talk about Scientology for a second? Like, just to end that point, is like, I watched a movie on the weekend. We'll talk about Scientology next. I watched a movie on the weekend that it was like, you know, and I just watched it without really looking at like the, that's not true. About 2/3 of the way through, I was like, this isn't good. I want to confirm.
And I'm pretty sure this is not a good film.
Okay, yeah.
And like, it was still entertaining. It was The Instigators by Doug Liman. His new movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. All three people who have Apple TV Plus, go and watch it. Even though one of you, my aunt, has already seen it because she watched it with me. But I was like, this isn't good.
Is it it's got Jack Harlow in it.
Yeah, it's the artist equity thing, right? But it's not a very good movie, but it's entertaining and it's kind of fun and stuff. Yeah. But it is kind of an absurd and insane kind of action comedy.
If it didn't have those three big names, would it be better for you?
No, because the script is awful.
Okay,
like not the talky dialogue bits, just the because this then this part of the script is well, that's just crazy. Like that would not happen in life, I don't think.
Yeah.
But you know, fun movie, but also just like I was like, I have to confirm that this is not very good. And I was like, yeah, I'm correct about that.
Yeah.
I have good taste, even though I'm an idiot and Judge Dredd should kill me. But it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like a fun exercise. It's a fun exercise to think for yourself sometimes.
Yeah, that does.
And I do it once a year when I go to my hometown where there's no internet.
There's no internet.
And we have to watch films projected by Starlink onto the lawn of our community center. And they're only Apple TV Plus films.
Really? you?
No.
Oh, shut your mouth. You do live pretty far.
Scientology.
Look. This I only recently found out.
Best time for us to reveal, we are both staunch Scientologists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second secret bonus, we are both also Tom Cruise. Hey, I love my wife. So I did not know
You're
that
jumping on the couch right now.
I did not know this movie was largely derided because people thought it was promoting Scientology. Whether Mr. Smith is a part of this or not, the fucking premise that, After Earth has a clunky story and all of its background lies in Scientology because it's basically a propaganda film that involves all the Scientology's themes, like fucking Kazuzu or whatever his name is.
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are not officially Scientologists. I want to just say that.
Okay, good.
I take back what I said.
Good. So they're not. But then this like weird rumor or perception that this movie is fully promoting Scientology.
Is an allegory for Scientology. Yes.
Because it is filmed in front of a fucking volcano for 5 minutes.
I mean, I don't know anything about that. But, I also don't know anything about the tenets of Scientology. I thought it was just like, pay us a bunch of money or we'll tell everyone you're gay.
Well, the whole thing with like another planet that you have to aspire to because they're Lord and Savior.
Where you become perfected.
Yeah, Xanadu.
And then Earth is like this trash zone.
But then also like the volcano itself is like a big part of the imagery. And like...
Oh, yeah, because the spirits go into the volcano. I learned this from South Park. They did that episode about Scientology.
As always, educational.
And then they get dumped into the volcano, but then the thetans or whatever, they disperse across the universe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're telling me no one thought Werner Herzog was a Scientologist when he did his volcano fucking movie?
Is he not?
They don't allow Germans in there, babe. We all know this. Fucking the Northman was all about a volcano.
I would listen to Werner Herzog talk like the audiobook of Werner Herzog's Dianetics, though. I think that would be pretty amazing. Yeah.
And then the planet Xanadu. It's Xanadont.
If we don't believe that your thetans are high enough, it will lead to the greatest catastrophe. That's really bad.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of leaning into it.
I can't do it. I can only do like him and John Malkovich off the cuff, and I just can't summon it.
My God.
Also, I have to yell really loud to do John Malkovich.
Doing a Scientology speech.
I mean, who knows?
That'd be fucking sick. He'd be good at it.
So the volcano.
So the whole volcano thing was like, look at this propaganda film that is just promoting that's where all the bad juju goes. And then
if I knew more about the tenets of Scientology, I could really I could talk about this further, but I don't really like.
I'm just saying it's like such a goofy point because so many movies have their climax in front of a volcano.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was
Lord of the Rings.
The ultimate Scientology film.
Dante's Peak.
Rip Christopher Lee.
Literally is about a volcano. Yeah.
The movie The Volcano.
Yeah.
That's just about hotties. Not just the
is Battlefield Earth, isn't that like a straight up
sci-fi
adaptation of something by L. Ron Hubbard or some shit?
Yeah. Man, it's gotta be.
And apparently is like one of the worst movies, one of the worst movies ever
that is
made.
actually bad.
Yeah.
Give that negative 12%. Just seeing the comparison of After Earth to this kind of criticism, it's just so disheartening because someone very smart and better than me and who's a much more eloquent thinker than I put this article together being like, Scientology propaganda from After Earth? Who's to say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not not about to get up here and defend Scientology, but I will. It's the same, like we talked about Man of Steel, and that has like all these kind of like, you could argue Christian allegory to it and symbolism.
Yeah.
And so do 50% of the films ever made, like have like Christian symbolism to them.
Yeah.
And I don't I don't find that like it's infringing upon my beliefs as an
anything,
agnostic.
It adds to it.
Yeah.
Holy shit, there's more spice in this film now.
I mean, like Scientology is goofy, but it's also like, I don't know, Christianity is pretty goofy. Like I think it's pretty silly too. Like
that's what makes
they all have silliness, you know? Yeah.
That's what makes it fun for the audience.
Yeah.
That is not, psycho about it. That can kind of take it at face value.
Yeah.
I don't know. The other movies that do cover these themes don't quite have the emotionality that After Earth has, and what a crazy thing to say. It's two characters who display little to no emotion.
Well, it's like very sincere about the father-son relationship dynamic. Yes. And I will say, like, I heard that criticism about like Interstellar when people who like didn't love Interstellar, a lot of them were like critics of like the fact that it's like, like love is kind of like one of the central themes and how it's a force that can affect the world and stuff. And it's kind of like, well, it's okay for him to love his daughter and also be like, I'm 1 billion miles away and I miss you. Like, I think that emotionality, it's most like movies without an emotional core is just like not fun. And sometimes it can be overwrought and overly sincere, like this film, but I mean, I don't know. It's better than not.
Is this though overly wrought with emotion? Because it doesn't come into the play until the absolute end.
Let's just say it's poorly wrought. I think it's like poorly filled with appropriate amounts of emotion.
It's gnawing at it, but it doesn't know how to fucking get it.
Yeah.
The thing with Interstellar, of course, the Hans Zimmer piece, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't even know what he was making it for until the director was like, it's going to be
that no-name director.
The guy.
What's his name?
Ben?
Yeah.
Bill director. He was like, yo, my guy Hans, another German. I don't know.
Yeah.
And good guess. Yeah.
Christoph Nolan.
Yeah. Can you compose a piece that is about just a father missing his daughter? And that's all he had for context?
I believe it was a daughter witnessing her father leave to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. That was kind of all the context, basically. That's it. And missing it. Yeah.
Look at what he did.
Yeah. Hans, imagine his surprise at the premiere when he's like, this movie's about space?
Yeah. But there's no real like music in After Earth. Or at least it doesn't stand out to me.
Kind of a problem, I would argue.
Yeah.
That might be like comparing Interstellar and After Earth is almost comparing like
apples to apples.
It's kind of like comparing an orange to a roast turkey. Like it's a different thing.
A turkey's better.
But it is like, it's important to note how impactful the music is to Interstellar, and it's not impactful at all in this film. Like it just doesn't exist.
No,
essentially.
They only use tension music. That's the only time you're kind of aware.
You know why I think that is? Because I've heard Scientologists can't hear. And to be the best Scientologist, you have to be willing to cut your own ears off.
Damn, they got a Vincent Van Gogh these ears.
Yeah. That's why they get Will Smith and John Travolta's, because they're the most like biggest biggest actors. And they have the most readable lips.
Oh my God, rip. No shade to Will Smith's latest rap song that came out.
Which one was that?
It was not a good one.
What did he? Oh, he was in Bad Boys recently.
Oh,
this is our 4th Smith.
Fuck yeah.
Bad Boys.
This is
iRobot.
Yes.
Enemy of the State.
Yep. And still
Jennifer's
going.
Body. Yep, he was in that too. And he was also in Man of Steel.
Just his fist though.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. After Earth.
After Earth still fucking gets me the last scene.
Yeah.
Because the entirety of the film, up until maybe let's say an hour in, you only know the kid as a coward, afraid all the time.
You're just a huge piece of shit.
Because he's a kid.
Just a garbage person.
He's a child.
Yeah.
And then they give Jaden like, because he hasn't earned the trust and done the job that he's supposed to do throughout the film.
He fucks up
when
at every
he does
turn
get
as well.
that chance to do his emotional monologue of, I'm not a coward, you're a coward. Whatever fucking accent he uses.
The accent,
he does do the accent.
I know everyone
it's like
does
a weird
the
thing,
weird
right?
Accent, yeah.
I'm not a coward.
Yeah.
You're the coward.
Yeah.
But then it feels not scripted, which works for me. It feels like he's just saying these things there's no real dialogue there either, which is good.
Yeah.
Imagine if they gave him a fucking whole, like, a poignant thing to say at a time like this.
Yeah.
All he does is cry, yell, shout, cry his lines.
Yeah.
And then jumps off a cliff.
Yeah.
And it works, man. It works on so many levels.
For you, I guess, yeah.
It's just nothing but like a fucking angsty 13-year-old, like, I can fucking run into a planet with my suit.
I have to say to give like a little back to the Shyamalan Smith-Smith trifecta is like, for me as a viewer, and I'm sure for many other people, it's like making a teenager at their most annoying age.
Yeah.
The main character is also a tough sell.
Yes.
They have to be kind of preternaturally charming or talented to really be bought, you know? Like those Stranger Things kids are like a miracle. Fucking Radcliffe and Hermione and fucking Ron are they're a miracle.
When they were young,
but
shitty actors.
Part of it too is like they can just be annoying little fucks, right?
Because the universe carries it for them.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 things supporting the movie and they're only a small part of it.
And most of what supports it is J.K. Rowling and her normal cool views.
She's very normal the entire time.
But also like and it's hard to make that the crux of your film, because for most viewers, I don't know if they're into watching a movie where a teenager is like, it's like an adult. It's kind of like an adult focused film where you know it's not like YA, like Hunger Games or something like that, right?
Totally.
It's more of like an adult focused film where you're being like, oh, but a teenager is the main character, and that's a tough sell too.
That age is playing that age, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an adult playing a younger person.
No, he's
which
not.
Is most of YA, right?
He's actually 4. The actor, Jaden, was 4.
He's tall.
They actually put him on lifts while he was on camera.
In Karate Kid, they had to take away the lifts.
Yeah.
They're like, just do your job regular.
But you're like Hunger Games and Divergent and all that kind of shit is like, they're
bad.
Like 23-year-old women playing 15-year-old girls. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, of course, there's going to be a better performance relatively.
Yeah, it is one of the rare ones where he is his age playing a kid his age.
Yeah. That's why it's so believable, his anger and his frustration and his like stupidity, trying to like, even his like sincere attempts, like, hey Dad, I'm reading this fucking book that you Moby Dick, like all the like goofy things that you would say trying to impress your very stern father. Yeah. It's a very Brown experience.
But I would say we'll get to that. I would say though that's a gambit that they have to gamble on.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. Right? Like
correct.
They have to they're really they're gambling on it, and it isn't working
because there's no depth there. It scratches the surface.
Yeah.
It gets to the end, and then, of course, he like learns to ghost and become his father, the kind of kid he wants to be when he impresses him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now,
it's effective.
I talk about the Brown experience. Go.
Oh God! Look, this is not a personal experience because my parents are cool as shit.
Your dad is always ghosting,
and my dad, I'm actually ghosting him. Like, he's a cool customer.
But you know what? He has me now to text.
Yeah, he does.
Daddy-o.
Who's the favorite daughter now? It's you.
Me.
God damn it.
Yep.
Ugh, I hate it. I like it.
Yep. Shout out. Go on.
Shout out, Dad. But just generally, even my friends are just watching people.
Just speak for every person of color. If you could please do that.
This entire country that I speak for,
No, everyone.
Oh, good.
Every single non-Caucasian person. You are now speaking for them. Go.
Okay. Dads, am I right, fellas? What's up with the fathers? I'm walking here. Look, when they want to kind of showcase a softer side to a child, you have to make it childlike in a way that it's believable and not just stereotypical, if that makes sense. Like with Jaden Smith, they didn't try to like polish any of the rough edges. They didn't try to make him a good actor. It's 2013. It's still like a time where you don't have to come into your own, kind of.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of like, a child actor was fucking killing it playing a child in like around that time, playing a very emotional role like this. She's a freak of nature, my dude. Dakota Fanning is a 900-year-old woman in Man of Fire. What is that child?
She's special.
She is a special kid. That
she still is. We're watching
different.
Ripley. She's a special kid.
Different.
Yeah, she's a special grown adult.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then it's almost unbelievable that she's a small child. You know what I mean? Like, I never see her as a kid because there's this, like, also maturity to her.
Yeah.
But then when you see a fucking teenager who's just like, oh, man, I just want to fucking impress my dad, and he's being a dumbass.
He's sincere. I mean, sincerity is kind of like the good and bad part of this movie, you know. And I think that rubs people the wrong way. Sincerity can be,
it can be taken as like plotless, surface level, like it's
cheesy, corny,
just empty, devoid of any depth. All valid, but then if that's what you're looking for in a sci-fi film, emotions are not real in this movie, or they're not like appreciated.
Yeah,
it's better not to have it.
Yeah, if you want to be a ranger like Cypher Rage, basically. Yeah.
Because then the monster will find you if you feel fear or happiness or whatever. If your heart beats, it's going to find you.
Yeah.
So they do a good job not showing any feelings.
Conclusion, After Earth is actually good.
To me.
To you. Well, I see, like, you're coming at it from a position that I come out with a lot of films where I'm like, I understand all the criticisms.
Yeah.
I just don't care about, like, I don't really, it doesn't affect my enjoyment of the film.
I just have to say, I've seen this like 6 times. I've seen this movie.
Yeah, it's a comfort movie, you know?
So much.
Yeah.
Because you don't really have to pay attention. There's not a lot of dialogue.
No.
There's only like 3 crucial moments that you gotta like watch out for.
I mean, we're not even going to talk about the plot because it's so simple.
Oh, it's so good.
They crash on a planet. He has to run 100 kilometers.
Yeah.
I know it. The thing is the premise is not fucking bad.
Exactly.
I do not agree that the premise is bad. It's just the execution of the premise I don't think is good. Yeah. But also when you're just kind of like, sometimes you're just like, it's fine to have a premise that's just fucking, they go from A to B and then one of them has to go from C. Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah. All right, cool. Like I don't mind that at all.
Yeah. It's up there in the genre of films where there's little to no real tension.
I mean, he risks his life almost the entire time.
Oh yeah, there's that.
There are stakes. Like he might die.
Yeah, you're right. Damn. So he does go hard. Look at him. There's tension the whole time. He could have just died.
I salute you.
He's like, I got a black suit. Oh no, it's a white suit now. By the freeze to death.
Your favorite thing.
Fucking love that suit.
I know.
People go Google After Earth suit. It's good. It's a good suit.
But if you're like a spandex fetishist, maybe do it on your own time.
Wait, it's like leather or something. Jesus. Yikes.
Yeah, do you want to talk about anything more about this movie?
I just want to say the last scene when Jaden Smith finally meets his dad. Wait, Katai finally meets his dad.
His real dad, who's the bird.
Cypher Rage.
Yeah.
And then Will Smith's character finally shows like a second of emotion where he's like, I want to salute you, soldier. And all Jaden Smith does is go and give him a hug because he's a kid.
Yeah, it's sweet.
And he's a sweet kid the whole time.
Yeah.
Ugh. Cheers.
After Earth. Thank God After Our Earth is not like that.
It's going to be.
But it will be in 10 years or so.
In 10 years. In exactly 10 years.
Yeah.
If you're not in Italy, you might as well get fucked.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is the opinion of all people of
Italy
color.
2035, baby.
Yeah. Anything more you want to say? Is that it?
I love you more, Night Shyamalan. Keep doing more.
I mean, go see Trap. I might see it. I might go see it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
I mean, we're going to go see Cuckoo.
Oh, we're definitely going to go watch Cuckoo.
But Trap, I want to see how Toronto's doing that disgusting wasteland. Serial killers. And fucking...
My brothers.
Yeah.
My brethren.
Thank you for listening.
It's been the Low Ceiling.
Yeah. It's nice to do a podcast that's kind of like Morbius where you have to
I have nothing
defend
negative to say.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say bad about Morbius. Morbius did nothing wrong. And this is not even an ironic take of like,
no.
Well, actually, Morbius. No.
You don't have a shred of irony in you.
Nothing. Fully in love. Fucking Jared Leto, Jesus Christ. Despite him, this movie
we don't
works.
have to do another pod on Morbius.
You're right. I love.
Just thank you for listening. Go back and listen to our Morbius episode.
My God.
I've been John.
I've been fanning over everything.
Yeah. What's your name? All right. Bye.
Bye.